Hi and welcome to my channel. You're watching Amrita Space. In this episode, we are going to be covering couple of tourist attractions which is in Odisha. That is Lingaraj Temple, Ashok Pillar and the incredible Konark Temple. So we had a flight to catch at 9 am to Bhubaneswar, but we were just at the entry gate at 8 am. I know, right? It's pretty crazy and very late. The day didn't start as we expected, but our journey did. So we were rushing to the boarding gates and finally we were inside the flight. Thank God. I was trying to act pretty serious and normal because my husband thought that I am the reason of the delay. You can already see his irritated face, but he couldn't do anything because we were inside the flight. Although he was trying to ignore me by acting asleep, but me being me, I was trying to capture all of his glimpses. With all that efforts to dissolve his anger, I finally succeeded. Yay! Now we are taking off and there's 2 more hours to Bhubaneswar. So now I'm going to take a quick nap and I'm going to catch you once we deboard. We are now at Bhubaneswar airport discussing what transportation options we can avail, and finally we booked a Rapido. Fortunately, the driver was really good, hence we booked him for a day covering couple of places around. We are now at Lingaraj Temple, which is just 8 kilometers from Bhubaneswar airport. Photography and videography is not allowed, but it is a worthwhile experience to see such a huge and a massive monument. These are the living proof how rich we were in culture and heritage, and if you're visiting Odisha, then definitely this is a must visit. After spending 2.5 hours just fully mesmerized, we proceed to visit the Ashok Pillar, which is on the way to Puri. Located almost 7 kilometers from South Bhubaneswar on the banks of Daya River, this site features the famous Kalinga Lock edicts, a modern replica pillar which marks the transformation of the Emperor Ashoka. There are intricate carvings of Buddhism preserved for now and future. This is the exact place where the Kalinga War was fought between the Mauli Emperor Ashoka and the feudal kingdom of Kalinga. The suffering inflicted on people was so brutal and so remorse that the emperor disavowed armed conflict. Disheartened by the pain and loss, the emperor further embraced Buddhism. Just below the monument, you will get to see a small temple which is dedicated to goddess Durga, and she is named as Mata Rani. If you wish to give any offerings, then you can buy from the store just near the temple. But be mindful of those people who openly perform scams in the name of bhakti, so know what to take and what not to take. Weather was pretty humid and hot and our body was draining, so we had to get something to hydrate ourselves. So we chose to survive on water bottles and sugarcane juice. Since our stay was booked in Puri, which was 60 kilometers from Bhubaneswar, without wasting much time, we set on a drive. The boys were so keen on drinking hot coffee on the way, which is whooping 250 rupees for 2, which was pretty bland. But who's gonna tell them? They would never listen. Anyways, moving ahead, we finally are in Puri, where the Lord himself resides. Bolo Jagannath Mahaprabhu ki. ऐसे सो रहे जैसे घोड़े बेच के आगे. चलो इनकी तरफ से मैं ही बोल देती हूँ. बोलो जगन्नाथ महाप्रभु की जय. Alright, so the early next day, we set to the Konark Sun Temple, which was again 55 kilometers from Puri. So from the main bus stand, right, I heard there were frequent buses to Puri, which was actually AC. But unfortunately, when we arrived at the bus stand, we did not have any buses and the timings were very stringent. So we thought of booking a cab from the bus stand. Here we are at the Konark Sun Temple, a UNESCO Heritage Site. Plenty of shops around. The ticket price is Rs 40 for Indian residents and for NRIs it is 600 rupees. And here we go. Here you'll get to see a combination of restructuring and preserving of old monument as it is. And here is a map that guides you to the temple. Absolutely mesmerizing carving just at the entrance. Imagine. If you see it carefully, the temple itself is designed in the form of a chariot where you can see wheels and horses running in the front and the chariot of course. And the carvings around the chariot are highly detailed erotic sculptures that explicitly depict the couples of all ages. These carvings depict dozens of stanzas which perfectly align with Vatsayana's ancient text on love and relationships. If you're interested to get into more details, then you can book a guide over here and you can negotiate the prices. But once you visit, you will understand that the temple itself is a masterpiece of artistry and architecture. But if any one of you are planning Konark Temple, then ensure you come during the sunrise or sunset, because during the afternoons the temperature goes really high and humid and you will not be able to enjoy the temple premises. Europeans who sailed across the coast named it as Black Pagoda, as the entire structure was built with black limestone. During the 1200 BCE, the stone workers took almost 12 years to build the Konark Temple, which is spread across 12 acres of land. Under the command of Narasimhadeva I, who was a ruler of Eastern Ganga Dynasty. As per the sources, it is said that the stone which was used to build the chariot was brought from Kandagiri and Udayagiri, which was almost 100 kilometers from the center. The entire skeleton was held together by a metal magnet which was almost 5 tons of weight. So the temple produces 24 massive stone wheels representing the chariot of Surya Deva. The wheel which is depicted in the 10 rupees note is taken from this reference. So you can calculate the time exactly by placing a stick on the wheel's axle and reading the position of the shadow cast by the sun onto the intricately carved beads along the ring. This itself is an engineering masterpiece and it adds to the jewel in the crown of Odisha. By observing which bead does the shadow falls on, you can calculate the precise timing by observing how many 3 minutes of increment have passed from the last spoke. There are a couple of temples and attractions nearby along with the beach if you want to visit. Now we are moving to the Chaya Devi temple. So here is not a complete temple but the ruins which is still preserved in an amazing form. This is a shrine which belongs to the 11th century and it is located in the southwestern part of the Konark temple. The surface appears to be in an ornamented form along with the porch, and it also features a scantum. Now we are moving to the brick temple, which is in the utmost corner of the Konark temple at the exact backside. It's a small layout of 5 projections facing towards the east. While it is said that the main deity from the scantorium is missing here, but the attendant deities such as Vishnu, Balarama and Varaha Rupa were worshipped here back then. If you are interested in history, do a little bit of reading before visiting here to connect the dots. Looks like I went too deep and I got lost from the herd. Now I need to look for my mates. Wow, here is an interesting fact. So the temple was constructed in such a way that the first rays of the sun directly touches the main entrance of the temple. Wow. Here is another ornamented structure which is similar to the Chaya Devi temple which you saw at the backside, and the artmanship is just beyond the words. I mean, look at that small carvings which has been done to perfection, and that's why we call it as Incredible India. Take a look at this massive iron beams and the wheel which is half done, which is preserved now. Oof, it was such a fulfilling experience, I must say. And now we are walking towards exit and we have almost like 500 meters to go. While the food options may be limited, the washrooms are very well kept. Place is serene and quiet, but it attracts a lot of crowd during the weekends. There are hundreds of shops which sell unique stone structures of the Konark temple. If you wish to, you can pick few for your memory. The boys over here marching like we don't exist are the same people who are sleeping here just like sea eels on the beach side. So with all that speaking and chattering, looks like we have come to the end of the vlog. If you connect with me in my journey, then do feel free to like, share and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next series. Till then, take care. Bye.